Ford has a massive problem, and it's all down this road right here behind me. They have these EVs that they cannot sell, and it is crushing them. So Ford is actually in massive trouble right now. They are hemorrhaging money on the EV side of their business. They've built out all these EVs. They spent so much money making these EVs, and you know what? People don't even want them. So for the numbers that I just looked up, Ford is actually losing $32,000 per EV made right now. So if you look right here behind me, there are 15 right here. All right, so some real quick math, 32,000 times 15 is 480,000. So Ford has lost $480,000 on this row right here. So Ford actually expects to lose $4.5 billion producing their EVs this year. And that's up from a previous expectation of $3 billion. I don't know how a publicly traded company with all the money that they have, all the money that they make, is able to miss these numbers in this capacity. It went from 3 billion loss, right, to 4.5 billion loss. Another thing that's actually not being factored into this is the UAW issues, the strikes that are most likely going to happen, these negotiations that they're going to have to pay their workers more. So instead of this $4.5 billion loss that they're going to have in this EV segment of their business, it's probably going to actually be much greater than that once you factor in the increased labor costs. So Ford has actually cited that one of the big issues that they didn't anticipate is that the adoption of EVs is going much slower than they thought. And you know what? It's not even Ford that's the only OEM that's having problems getting this EV adoption, actually pushing these EVs out. Tesla's having problems too, and Tesla is the leader of the EV space. And if Tesla is having problems, you know that Ford's going to have issues. Tesla has been cutting prices left and right. And I don't know about you, but the economics class that I didn't take from the college that I dropped out of taught me that, you know what, when demand is really high, the prices should go up, and you should not have to be cutting prices if you're selling these EVs left and right, and Tesla is cutting prices. So here's the reason why. So you have a massive group of people that are early adopters for the EV space, love EVs, and that's what they want to drive, right? Well, all of them have already bought an EV, right? So we can't sell them a vehicle now because they're already in their vehicle, and it's going to be a while before they're ready to trade it in and buy a new one. But then you have this other segment of people that, you know what, we're just not going to buy EVs. And then you have this middle ground of people that are on the fence. But the problem, the reason why they're not able to leap over that fence and take the plunge in the EVs is because price is holding them back. So see, they're not going to make a leap on a EV that's going to cost them $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 when they can buy a gas vehicle that they're comfortable with. They understand the technology for a much cheaper price, right? So you're going to have the pricing of these EVs be a major barrier, a major hurdle for a lot of these people that want to maybe buy an EV someday, but right now, you know what, they can't afford it. So here's a problem for Ford. See, their biggest competitor in the space, obviously, is Tesla. Tesla is the leader in the EV space, and Tesla has been cutting prices like crazy this year. So to be competitive with Tesla, you either have to be better than Tesla or you have to be cheaper than Tesla. And Ford is neither. And I know that Jim Farley has come out recently and said that, you know what, we're not trying to compete with Tesla. But you know what, Jim? You got to, because Tesla's customers are your EV customers. That's the only place right now that you're going to find a customer base for your EVs. Because when a customer is looking for an EV, they're going to, like every other consumer of every other vehicle, either be looking for quality or price. And guess what? Tesla is beating Ford at both. So because Tesla is cutting prices like they are, it actually doesn't bode well at all for these companies that are producing these EVs, like a Ford, like a GM, all your Kia, your Hyundais, all of these that are producing these EVs. If the leader has to come down on price, so does everybody else. So because they're having such a hard time selling them, Ford has even dropped the Ford Lightnings by up to 17% on certain models. And really, you got to think about, okay, who is the consumer that Ford wants to market these trucks to? Because you're really going to need to market them to mainstream working man who needs a pickup truck, right? That's how you're going to sell lots and lots of these Ford Lightnings. But these things, if they're at capacity towing, they're only gonna get 100, 120, let's say in best case scenario, 150 miles of charge on a full load, right? The average worker who wants to work all day and tow all day, that's not going to be an option for them. So they're not going to be able to buy that truck. They're going to have to go with this 250. They're going to have to go with the F-150 to be able to run their truck all day, to work all day. And I know what you're saying, because I see it in my comments all the time. You know what? I want a work truck, but I'm not paying $70,000, $80,000 for one of these luxury vehicles that they're calling trucks now, so I can go to work. And I can tell you, those people, which is a majority of us, right? If we're not paying these $70,000 and $80,000 for these gas trucks that can work all day, then we're definitely not paying $90,000 for an electric truck that can only tow for 100 to 150 miles. So another thing about this is Tesla is actually going to make money off of these consumers that are actually buying EVs from Ford. Ford has just entered into agreement with Tesla to allow Ford vehicles to actually use Tesla's charging network, their charging stations. So when a Ford customer is going in, Tesla is actually going to make money off them every time they charge their vehicle. This is some revenue that Tesla is going to be able to just continuously bring in, and Ford's going to make the sale, and then they're done with it. Now, a lot of these OEMs like Ford have talked about actually getting revenue off of their customers on an ongoing basis, right? And that is subscription-based models for a lot of the features in these vehicles. I think that's the wrong way to go, because if I'm a consumer and I'm used to buying a vehicle, and I buy a vehicle and I just have the features there, and then we're going to change up the entire system to where, okay, there's going to be some cars that you can buy and then you pay a monthly fee to have these certain features. That's probably not a vehicle I'm going to want to buy. I might be weird, but I would assume most consumers are going to be similar to me, where they're going to be able to look for a car. Hey, I don't have to pay for any of these features. I can just buy the car and then I'm done with it. Versus this other car from Ford that, okay, I can buy it, but then if I want these cool features that I actually want to have, I'm going to have to pay an ongoing monthly fee for that. I don't think that's the system that is going to work for automakers, but there are a lot of them that are wanting to go towards that, and Ford's one of them. All right, and always my favorite thing to check at these Ford dealerships when I go to them are these Ford Lightnings. So we'll look at this one, and it is a 2023 F-150 4x4 Super Crew, and this one has extended range battery. So the MSRP on this one is $89,124, and here you're still going to have some add-ons. You've got $878 for their like paint protection, cabin sanitation, all that crap that they add to it, and you got a bed liner for $399. So your total price here, $90,400 and $1,000. And we've got this other F-150 Lightning. This one's interesting. I don't see any add-ons on this one, and this is actually the cheapest Ford Lightning that I have seen when I've been to all of these dealerships, and the MSRP on it is $72,440. No add-ons that I see anywhere, but it's just interesting because that's the cheapest one that I've ever seen. Look at this, it's still $72,000. So while we're here, we might as well, right? I'll check the price of this pretty yellow one right here. All right, so this one's a 2023 Mustang Mach-E. It's a GT E all-wheel drive, and we've got the MSRP on this one, $72,035. Wow. And even though we have these Mach-E's that are sitting everywhere at this dealership, we're still getting add-ons from a lot of these dealers. So EVs sitting everywhere, but dealers still trying to add markups. Not good. You know what? I thought I was done, but I'm gonna go through all of these Mach-E's. I'm gonna find the absolute cheapest one. I'm just curious and show you guys. All right, ridiculously hot, but I found the cheapest one that they have. It's a 2023 Mach-E. I'm guessing it's like just the standard package. There's your MSRP, $47,795. There are your add-ons here at this dealership, and total price $48,673. Cheapest Mach-E, cheapest EV on the lot. So the government is even adding huge incentives, huge tax credits on top of a lot of these EVs, and people are still saying no, that's not even enough for us to want to get into one of these EVs. So Ford, who has wanted to stay competitive with Tesla, have also made cuts across their board. They've made cuts on the Ford Lightning up to 17%. They've made cuts on these Mach-E's. And you know what? Even though they're putting these price cuts, even though these government rebates, these government tax credits are coming in, they're still not able to sell these EVs. So Ford's going to have to figure something out, because they're absolutely bleeding money from their EV space. They're making money on their gas stuff, but they know that they are wanting to move to the future, and they think that EVs are the future. But right now, it's not working out for them. Something's got to change. They can't keep losing this amount of money developing these EVs that no one wants and they can't sell. Get these EVs roll out, trying to get these EVs rolled out, trying to actually no. For your EV vehicles. No, I'm not gonna say that. So Ford has even dropped the not the Mach-E.